feel naked. Not a single logo on my shirt. You can tell I'm the host. They've come from all over the world today for Off the Record. So, guys, let me tell you the rules of the show. Mark, you know this because you've been here before. The name of the show is Off the Record, Christian. And, Michael, that means that nothing you say is off the record. So you can really open up and give us the stuff that you've never given anyone else, okay? Cool? Sure. Let's go. Today, a great list of drivers. We thank the Toronto Molson Indy for delivering Michael Andretti, the Haas Team Kart's all-time leader with 37 wins, 5-time winner here in Toronto at the Toronto Molson Indy. Michael Andretti is here today, and so too is his teammate, Christian Fittipaldi, Newman Haas Racing Team as well, 4 years in the kart circuit, 3 years in the Formula One. We'll talk a bit about that. Thanks for coming today, Christian.
Welcome.
And Mark Blundell, we thank you for coming back to the show. I guess we did something right. Mark Blundell, Pac West Racing Team, last year's Toronto winner and 3-time winner on the kart circuit. All right? You know how it works, Mark. We talk about issues that relate to this sport, but also we talk about other sports because we have got a couple of soccer fans and a hockey fan as well. We'll talk about anger and aggression on your tour. I want to get your reaction to that. Plus, we'll play some Toronto Molson Indy trivia. You won 5 times, but were you paying attention? We'll find out today on Off the Record. First of all, let's talk about, not kart, but F1. All 3 of you have driven F1, right? Why'd you come back to kart?
Because you have the nice girls over here on this side of the world.
And there's no good-looking girls in Formula One, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, there is. It just can't get in. I mean, it's like a big chain fence around the place. No, I mean, for me, I couldn't get a drive which I felt was up to the standard that I wanted to be in Formula One. I came away from McLaren and there wasn't anything available, so I looked to the kart series because it's the most competitive series there is. These guys, I don't know. I mean, he got homesick. I know he had to come home.
Yeah, I had to come home. I missed everybody at home. But no, it was, you know, my situation was not a very good one when I was over there. You know, a lot of things didn't go the way they were supposed to, and it came down to where I knew I was going to be released by McLaren, so I was lucky enough to get an opportunity to drive for Chip Ganassi at the time.
But isn't one of the things, I know you spoke out about it, and this is what I want to get into, is the media scrutiny in Formula One. I mean, they are all over you, right? In a different way than they're all over you here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think the media over there is looking to, I mean, one day you're a hero, next day you're a chump type thing, and they're constantly digging and trying to, I don't know how to put it, but make things difficult for you, but that's not the problem. Yeah, they want to print the dirt, but that's not where I would say what happened. It's not. I think it's much deeper than that. The way Formula One operates is totally different than Indy Car racing, which is what I learned when I was there.
Did you guys find a difference in the media as well, and how closely we look at you?
Well, I think definitely the media is much more switched on to racing in Formula One. I mean, they follow everything. They don't just follow the actual races and the driver. They follow the whole team within the team, and it's much different. You know, we're over here. I think the coverage isn't quite as in depth.
And plus, I think that over here you have a lot of other different sports also that everyone follows, and basically, like in Europe, it's I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Or soccer or motor racing, and over here you have like 10 different sports, and a lot of athletes can be very big. And
Did you hear what he said, though?
No, it's football.
Did you hear what he referred to? He called it soccer.
It's not soccer, it's football.
No, it's called
football.
soccer.
Okay.
You kick the ball, you don't pick it up and run
No,
with
you
it. That's
kick it
rugby.
football. No.
These guys just don't know what they're on about. I mean, anyway. But they're right. I mean, it's, you know, like the media side, it's a lot more microscopic. I mean, you're just under the microscope every time you move in F1, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it's bad. I mean, I think we'd probably be on the wrong side of things most times anyway, but not for any fault of our own. We've never really sat in machinery what's been top-line machinery.
But isn't it true that you all in your sport know how to use the media to your best advantage? I mean, very media-friendly, right? Because you wear these logos, you want to get them out there. I mean, that's how your sponsor sells his product.
Actually, it's my clothing line. But,
well, you don't know how to use the media, right? So you're happy to sell your product, but sometimes the media goes too far, right? What is crossing over the line in your mind, Mark?
Crossing over the line for me is that, you know, when you leave the job and then you go into the private side of things, that's crossing over the line. Anything that's connected with this job, I'm fine with. If there's media attached to it, because for me it's part and parcel. You know, modern day sportsman, you've got to expect it. That's what sport's all about now, sport stroke business. When it steps into the private side of your life, that's where I'm putting up the barriers.
He means if he's at home with his wife in bed and there's someone trying to take a picture from the window, obviously he doesn't like it.
No, that's fine.
Someone not hired by him to take the picture.
They just got a big ladder because I'm 12 stories up. But no, yeah. I mean, you're right. That's where it has to stop. I mean,
and you guys feel a difference here in North America than in Europe with sort of how far the media will go to get the story.
You know, like you said, I think microscopic's a good word. I think it's definitely not as in-depth over here, and they don't follow it quite
Well,
the same.
didn't they criticize your ex-wife at the time for not being stylish enough?
I don't know what it was. I don't even remember what it was, but it was actually, the worst part was, though, that was U.S. magazine, Sports Illustrated, which I still, I cannot believe that article. It was basically a hatchet job. You know, the guy was paid to just tear
Did you
it
cut
up.
them off then, Sports Illustrated?
I've never done an interview for it.
You wouldn't do an interview with them?
I mean, you know, the way it was all done was in poor taste, in my opinion.
And
Had nothing to do with racing.
no, I understand.
And
So,
that's the
so
whole
you say,
point.
hey, you guys stabbed me in the back, therefore I'm not going to help you sell your magazines.
Especially American, you know, you would think they'd want to support me over there. Instead, they're trying to do the opposite, where normally if you come from a country in Formula One, normally that country really, they go overboard the other way to try to make you look good. Where here it was like...
England doesn't do that.
I would say England's about the only other one, but if you were Italian or whatever, I mean, they just, you know, they put you on a pedestal type thing. And
Brazil
and I
does.
think Brazil as well.
Brazil backs
I
them,
think they
the
really
guys.
back the drivers. you know.
But let's talk soccer now.
Football.
Let's talk soccer now.
Right.
Because if we're going to talk football, we'd have to talk
Talk
NFL.
about- right,
and
exactly.
you may want to talk about the Arizona
Pittsburgh
Cardinals
Steelers
because
and,
you live in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
But okay, let's talk the recently completed World Cup. Is that sort of user-friendly enough? Nobody's offended by that?
Apart from Brazil sitting in.
Just the discussion. I'm sorry?
Well, to be quite honest, like, I think we had to give France a chance because they were,
They're
like,
home.
hosting the whole World Cup and everything, so we honestly just let them win the last game, and we're just going to beat everyone on the next World Cup, so we're not really worried about that. Hey, what
Watch
happened
out
to
for
America, by the
USA.
way?
Watch out for
What
USA.
happened
We're
to
coming
USA,
back.
by
I don't think they've ever advanced past the first round, have they?
Now,
Well, we don't follow it. Soccer is not a big sport in the United States right now.
that's because we used the wrong name, right?
Yeah, football. But anyway, I think you give it 10 years or so, that's going to be a big game because every time, I mean, I live in the U.S. now, and every time I go out and, you know, on a Sunday or something, or a
I
Saturday.
know there are a lot of kids playing it.
Yeah, there are a lot of kids playing it, but also there's a lot of girls, you know, which in England
I'm
just
sorry,
doesn't-
what were those?
Girls.
Girls.
Yeah. Lasses.
Girls.
Lasses, girls, you know,
Okay.
females.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
Well, we got lots more to talk about, and you can see that these guys don't mind talking amongst themselves. You can do that while we take a commercial break. We'll be back with these three great drivers on Off the Record in just a moment.
Off the Record with Michael Land.
They come back.
Take a look at the screen, guys. This is the 1996 Long Beach Grand Prix. Christian Fittipaldi, does that look familiar? You had a little bump there with Greg Moore, Canadian, who was on the show a couple of days ago, and then you gave him a little bit of a shove there. Now, two guys are laughing here. Keep laughing while we take the shot there, and one guy not laughing quite as hard.
Are you sure it was me? I don't think it was me.
You don't think that was you?
No.
Well, let's vote on it. Was that him?
That was him.
Was that him?
Absolutely.
Sorry. Democracy.
Can you tell by the way he fell over the car?
Mm-hmm.
He just...
Yeah, I know.
So
He's a lover, not a fighter. And he proved that.
that's why he came back from Formula One.
Well, it happens sometimes. I think all the drivers have been in this situation.
Never, I
and-
never.
Well,
I
never?
lost my temper like that.
You two are such, like, nice boys, and
So let me ask you, when something happens on the track, how do you deal with it afterwards? Does it stay with you? Like, are you still pissed at Greg Moore?
no, absolutely not. I think that, like, you learn, no matter how good or how bad your experience on track is, like, you're always learning, and you can always take positive things out of it, and I think it's gone already. Like, it's over. Obviously, at the time, you're fighting so hard for that position, and, like, the nerves are really, really up there, and if something bad happens, you sometimes go out of control.
So there's nobody Mark Blundell on your circuit that you don't really like. Is that true?
You know,
Besides us two.
besides these two. Yeah.
Besides these two.
No, I got to say, everybody who's out there on the track with me, I've got a great deal of respect for because I just respect them being out there with us. And there's a few guys that I might not have, you know, the best like, and I wouldn't go and share a beer with them, put it that way.
Who would that be?
Yeah, these two for a start.
Okay, but who would be a third person that we could bring in here? Come on, you're a candid guy.
I don't want to say names, you know. It's not that kind of deal. But
Right.
it's, you know, the problem is as well, as like what he's saying, sometimes your temper does flare because, you know, there's a lot of pressure on us out there. You're talking about sport was probably $25 million a year or something, and if you equate that to when you're out on the racetrack, you probably got a couple of $1 million sitting on your shoulders to bring the car home in a good result. So, you know, you've got that side of it, and then, you know, your temper's flaring, you get a little problem, and it happens. It just seems to happen a lot with him. I don't know.
What was the maddest you
It happened once only with me.
Was it only once?
Yeah, well, it was
it?
time.
We'll get the stats out on that.
What was the maddest you've been
He never does
on the
get
track?
The maddest I've
Yeah.
been? I don't know, probably, actually not in kart, but probably in Formula 1 with Gerhard in '93 in Hockenheim. He put me on the grass at like 212 miles an hour, which I didn't think was funny at the
He knocked me
time.
out of Hockenheim, too.
Did he? He's that kind of guy, you know.
Not a nice
But,
guy.
yeah, but, you know, you get pissed off about it, but that's racing at the end of the day.
Robbie Gordon gave you a little nudge right after a race.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
That was in Cleveland.
That was in Cleveland.
I remember
Yep,
that
Yep,
one.
in '95. It was sort of funny. I mean, it's what he was thinking. I'll never know.
I know, because at that time he was my teammate.
Yeah.
He came back into the truck after the race and he said, "That Mike Andretti, I got him this time. I nailed that guy." And everything.
It was actually funny because he basically did himself in 3 times in a race, and he was just mad at me because I had done something, and he just took the bait every time and went off the track. And
there it is.
Yeah, here we go.
Hey,
Like,
nice
what was that? I thought he was coming up to say hi to me and you know, say good job. Then he comes and he hits me. I didn't understand it.
And what did you say to him after that?
Wasn't very happy.
This is beepable. This show's on.
I actually said, you know, what were you thinking? Basically, you know, I was even.
Well, it wasn't exactly that.
No.
What?
No, actually, I was like, I just shook my head at him when we were going into stores because the best part about it was I got put on probation too. That was
And probably got
That was
fined
the best
also.
thing about it.
And fine.
And fine, you know, and I was like.
Yeah, how much you got fined
I
for
don't
that
remember.
one?
I don't know.
So I got to ask you guys, though, let's roll the A.J. Foyt video here. This was like something that got played over and over again, and every fan had a comment. What was this is Ari Leyendyke and A.J. Foyt. Mostly it's A.J. Foyt. When you saw that was on a Sunday, right? And you probably saw it.
I'm glad I didn't see that, but this
You
is
watched
actually
it,
the
though?
first time I've ever seen
Oh, really?
it. Yeah.
you know what? I think that's kind of sad.
That's very
It
sad.
is.
You know, it's kind of sad to see because that guy to us is a legend, you know, and it's kind of sad to see him react like that. And I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what we're ever going to know. But,
I've seen him react like that
yeah,
a lot.
and if he's going to
you know,
smack
it's
him,
just,
why not give him a right hook and not one of those little wimpy things?
wimpy
Yeah,
slaps, yeah.
I mean, do it properly.
As they do in
Boxing.
the best sport going.
Yeah.
Not boxing, but the best team sport.
Yeah,
What is
exactly.
it? Michael
Hockey.
Andretti.
Hockey.
Hockey, the best team
Absolutely.
sport going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you live in
Hockey's
Arizona.
great.
You must have gone to some Coyote games, right?
Yeah. Coyotes.
I say coyote.
Yeah.
So what do we think of hockey fighting? Where a sport where, you know, you guys would do a little slapping like A.J. Foyt, or in your situation, you wrestle a little bit like Greg Moore, but take a look at the screen here. I mean, this is, you know,
That's cool.
in a true sport, this is how they
That's
decide.
a real men's sport.
You like that?
Oh, yeah.
Love hockey. It is good.
No, it is good. They even have it in Florida where it's really hot.
And Arizona.
Yeah, in
Ice
Arizona.
doesn't melt. How do you work that out?
They don't have that system down in Brazil. Only in the first world countries they have
Yeah.
that.
You want to talk some hockey, Michael?
Sure.
We'll do so when Off the Record returns with one hockey fan we know. The 2 others, we'll find out a little bit later on. You go to any Coyotes games?
Sure.
Goes with the job description. Welcome back to Off the Record. We talk racing today, but we also got to talk to one of the biggest hockey fans around about some hockey. Take a look at this video, which is evidence of the fact that you are, in fact, a very big hockey fan. Michael Andretti, lifetime... I was going to say Philadelphia Flyers fan, but...
No, they made me go.
but that's you at a Flyers game, right?
Yeah. Oh, here I am. Oh, that was bad.
And that's your man.
That's where they got
So
killed.
that's where the
That
goatee
was
came
it
from.
Last year at the.
Sorry, Mark, we're not interrupting you,
At
are
the
we, Mark?
Stanley Cup.
I just said to him, that's where the goatee came from. You got it off the hockey
goatee?
players. This, yeah,
What's a
this bit of
goatee?
fluff around your mouth.
So are you a Lindros fan?
Yeah, I like Eric a lot. We get along good, and you know I see him a few times a year, and I think he's a great hockey player.
You know, there's a lot of rumors that... can we take a wide shot here? I'm sorry, what were you just doing there? You were leaning over and whispering in his ear.
They do that a lot.
Is that the year that you wore the earring on?
No, this one.
Okay, I just wanted to get that
He
straight.
just mentioned a term that we use quite frequently.
We being the two of you.
Yeah.
They have their own
it's
little
kind of
thing.
It's a thing we got going.
I can see the way this is, this is sort of broken down, two guys against two guys. So let's sort of ignore them and talk about hockey. The talk is that Lindros could be dealt, given the fact that they put so much into Eric Lindros and they got knocked out so early in the playoffs last year. Do you think they should move him?
No, I'd be surprised if they did. No, I don't think so. I think they expect a lot out of one man. I think he's done a tremendous job for him, but they expect him to carry everything, and one man's not going to do it. It's still a team sport.
How about John Van Beesbrook? Is he the right guy to play in goal?
I think he's a good
used to
move.
play for Miami.
That's right. Very good. See, he doesn't even know that. So that's I think it's a good move, positive move.
Do you want to ask him any hockey questions? Mark Blundell, the Phoenix Coyote fan?
Do I want to ask
Yeah,
any questions?
you were drilling him before.
Who's the Coyotes goalie?
Correct.
No, he told me before, he said, don't blame Nikolai Habibulin. But you did say also, you thought Keith Kachuk was one of the ultimate power players.
Great player.
Right.
Don't blame Nikolai. That's it. I'm up on hockey.
He told me that before.
What's the right wing again? What's the wing?
Yes, over there.
Okay.
So if you could go to one sporting event outside of your own, no racing at all, what would it be? Tickets for one. I mean, we have the kind of power here to get them for you.
You would?
It's not like you need them.
I went to the Stanley Cup playoffs last year. Well, actually, playoffs. I mean, it was actually in Detroit where Flyers got killed, and I'd like to go to a home game of the Flyers when they're in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, we'll make it work because we have contacts at Sports Illustrated.
I think.
Sorry, apparently that. How about you? Any sporting event you could go to?
Olympic Games, like any...
What event, though, in the Olympic Games?
Probably...
Like snowboarding or
Mud
something.
wrestling.
No, swimming. I went once to swimming, and I really found it really interesting, and I would like to watch U.S. Open once.
U.S. Open tennis or golf?
Yeah. No, tennis for sure.
Oh, excuse me, I don't know how I could mention golf. Every athlete you have on the show wants to be a golfer.
I respect golf a lot, and I admire all those golfers that really made it up to the top, but I'm not a real golf fan.
Huh? Did you go for somebody who goes and gets something and brings it
golfers.
back?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
The only guy with no accent is making fun of your accent.
How many languages do I know how to speak?
How about you, Mark?
I don't. You know what? If it was something I had the opportunity to be in instead of another sport, then I'd want to go and compete in a supercross event. Like motocross in the stadium. But if it's something I'm going to go and watch, I think probably like Wimbledon or something like that. Something that's got a lot of tradition.
Back home, David Beckham. I know you follow soccer really closely. His dad, Beckham's dad, said that he may have to move out of the country because of the red card that he got.
I think that decision was harsh by the referee. I think he was silly in one respect that he kicked the guy, like a delayed reaction. He kicked out the guy and he didn't even look up to see where the ref was. That was silly. I'm sure he's thinking about that.
So it was okay to kick him. He just shouldn't have done it in front of the ref. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
That's what he's saying, isn't it?
Yeah, this guy got out of the cockpit and got all the Greg, didn't he? I mean, that was bad. You should have had a red card.
Yeah.
I got a red card. No, I got a fine.
You got a fine.
Yeah.
You're wealthy, you're okay. But it's like, no, I think
didn't pay for it.
He did, Carl?
No, the sponsor did.
Oh, they did?
Yes.
So he does it often.
How'd you do that? I never pay mine.
No, a red card was too harsh for Beckham. But no, it's not fine. He should have kicked out the guy, but yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, just unfortunate the ref was 2 feet away at the time.
Okay, so give us being Brazilian, you obviously know the inside story. What happened with Ronaldo?
That's a good question.
I thought you knew the answer.
No, because the question's so good that I don't know the answer.
Who's Ronaldo?
Well, there are...
Oh, that's interesting.
There are
Who's
obviously
Ronaldo?
like a lot of talks, but I don't. It's really, really hard to say because, in my opinion, like the World Cup is so big, and what we see like is something really, really behind the scenes, and we don't really even imagine what's happening out there and like minutes prior to the game and everything. I imagine that it was like everyone is really tense because it happens every 4 years, and obviously everyone comes up with these different stories, but.
Mark, you
I can't see for the life of me that it was like rigged or there was a conspiracy
no way.
or you know, Nike paid this and that. I don't think that happened.
Well, Nike may have wanted him to play. They put $250 million.
Yeah, I just don't think. I mean, Brazil.
Imagine a sponsor influencing a sporting event. Nah, it could never happen.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the Toronto Molson Indy, and I'm going to ask you guys some trivia. We know you've won it, two of you guys, but do you know about the history of the event? We'll do that when Off the Record returns. We always invite your response to the show. We get lots of... Yesterday, I arm wrestled Patrick Carpentier on the show. What made that arm wrestle even more pathetic was the fact that Carpentier is left-handed, and he used his right arm. Better stick to the ladies, Michael, which isn't a bad suggestion, I guess. Hey, Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, you. You sit there with an ego as large as an elephant's rear end. Just wanted to tell you that you ain't all that. Whoa. No guy with bad grammar should be able to criticize you that way, right?
Is that a guy?
Was that a guy?
Kelly.
That was a girl.
Kelly? I guess Kelly can go either way.
Probably does.
Thanks for defending me, pal. Our addresses, and no matter what you want to say about me or our show, let us know. Back in a moment. Alex Zanardi, the big favorite for this race? Is he beatable?
Definitely beatable. You know, I think he's been beatable this year. It's just a lot of things have really been going his way. They've been taking advantage of the breaks that they've gotten, and but he can be beaten. You know, I truly believe it.
I think he is. I think Ganassi is just on a roll as a team. I mean, the last race we did, Vassar sat on the pole with a good margin, and Zanardi mopped up and won the race. I mean, the team's been strong for the last 2 seasons. And, you know, some other good teams down the pit lane. These guys are in a good team. I'm in a good team. And we're going to come back at them.
Definitely beatable. Yeah.
If you had a chance to watch this race as a fan, and you could set up in one spot, it's a great course, and I know you guys love the course. Where would you set up?
Most of the passing probably be down into the hairpin or turn 1. I think that's where a lot of the action is, I think.
All right.
I would watch it in a hotel room on TV.
I think a more interesting question would be
the whole track.
Who would you be with? Okay. Let me ask you some trivia questions
And
regarding
drinking a
this
couple
event.
of beers, a lot more relaxed. Why go to
You
the
were the
track? You're gonna be
stereotypical
sweaty
playboy
and-
before the show came on. I think you've done a lot to dispel that.
Sorry?
Let me ask you a couple of quick questions. The only pole sitter to go on to win the race was that guy, right? What year?
91.
1991. The first winner of the Toronto Molson Indy was?
Bobby Rahal.
You're right.
I learned that with these
86.
two.
Name of the
I
road.
probably wasn't born in '86, so I know that.
Name of the road on the backstretch.
Lakeshore Boulevard.
And how many bottles of beer, Molson Export, does it take to fill one of your car tanks?
467.
Oh,
Yeah.
you cheated. You looked over my shoulder, didn't you? Admit
No,
you did.
I
Guys,
cheat. I
a
figured
safe
it
race
out. I mean,
and a great race,
thank
and
you.
thanks for coming.
Off the Record with Michael Landsberg is brought to you by the Keg Steakhouse and Bar. For great steaks, good friends, see you tonight.
Jim Van Horn.